again YouTube, Mad Dog here. This video is a quick one on water filtration. I won't say purification, because at the end of this process your collected and filtered water will still need boiling to cleanse it of any bacteria and such like elements. So hopefully, as you all know, I always include a couple of Ziploc bags into my survival kit, or bug out bag, whatever you want to call it, your just in case kit, purely for the reason of collecting water. So along in that same kit you'll probably have a sanitary tampon for firelighting, or to apply to serious wounds at a push to stem the bleeding. Obviously it's hygienically sealed and made for absorption. So what I'm going to show here is a little water purification trick, filtration trick. So we take the tampon out of its packaging and take our Ziploc bag, drop that little fella bullet end down into the bottom of that bag, and then we need a shoelace, piece of paracord, any homemade twine, anything like that will do. And what we're going to do is place the tampon in the bottom corner of the bag and pinch it together like so, and then we're just going to simply tie the bag around that tampon just with a simple overhand knot, and probably secure it again with a hitched slip half hitch, something like that. Nothing flash or fancy. There we go, something along those lines. So now we've got our tampon in the corner of the bag. Now here comes yet another little plug, but also a little snippet of information that is worth knowing anyway. And this stuff is activated charcoal, very useful stuff. As we all know, activated charcoal has a lot of medical uses, and to include the absorption of some heavy metals, and I don't mean Metallica or Megadeth, in the gut, or poison, some poisons, some toxins, because of the absorption of the activated charcoal, which is basically purified charcoal that's baked really slowly to open the pores of it up. Because of its absorption rate, will hold toxins in the body rather than it being expelled out into the gut and released into the bloodstream. That's one of many uses. For us bushcrafters, survivalists, whatever you want to call it, water purification, water filtering should I say, that's the top daddy. So as you know, these life straws, all the rest of it, have activated charcoal within them. And the plug is, yes, I am going to be selling this on eBay. It's a very reasonable rate compared to a lot of other mainstream dealers. So please check my little eBay shop out. I'll put the link in the description below if you're interested in making this little kit up. So what I'm going to do now is open the bag up and pour some of said activated charcoal. Most of it I'm getting on the floor at the moment. Let's go again. So I'm not going to go crazy with it, save some for the next time. So that I'm now left with something that looks like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is now take my knife or my scissors and just snip the end of the bag where the tampon meets the bag there, just to create a small opening, and take our cook vessel, our drinking flask, whatever it may be, hopefully the piece of equipment that you'll then boil this filtered water in. So just for demonstration I'm using a clear glass jar so you can see what happens. I'm just going to stuff that in there and then bring on some nice beautiful nice gnarly looking filthy water. As you can see, there's all sorts of particles, remnants in there, bit of woodage, leaves, soil, ash, you name it. There's all sorts of rubbish in there. So now I'm going to fill the bag up. As best as I can. like so. Zip that little fella up. And now I'm afraid the waiting game begins. Like everything in survival bushcraft, patience is the key. So I'm just going to stand that to one side, clear the decks, go have myself a brew, and we'll come back in a bit. Stay tuned. Yeah. Alrighty, welcome back. Over an hour has elapsed, and as you can see, the little glass jar here is filling up nicely with relatively clear water, filtered water. So I'll just take this little fella out, and hopefully this will pick up. But as you can see, the tampon there is still doing its business. It drip followed drip, and it is relatively clear. So I know it's a bit of a long-winded pour demonstration, but what I would suggest is, if you are in a true bushcraft or even worse a survival situation, then get this rig set up on day one, even if you have enough water on you at the time to sustain that time, because it takes 24 hours to do this efficiently and properly, because this process using the the activated charcoal can be redone over and over again. So you know, you're going to have to keep at this, and to get enough water that's worth harvesting, worth carrying for the following day, which we all know really is 2 litres a day per person as an average. Some cases less, some cases more, depending on your workload, etc, etc. I digress. But so forward planning is the key here. If you've got enough water on your person for today, then start doing this setup to sustain yourself for tomorrow and the following day. Never assume that you're going to get rescued or you're going to get out of that bad situation in the next 24 hours. Always assume the worst. So it's always hope for the best and prepare for the worst every time. So I thought I'd quickly show you that little demonstration of a homemade water filter carrying minimal kit. Yes, it takes a long time. So in an hour you've only got that amount, which will then require further boiling. However, there is also another use that you can use this activated charcoal for, which I'll probably show later on in another video. This video is already way too long, so for now I'll sign off. Hope you find some of this useful. Take care, see you soon. Mad Dog signing off. Yeah!